very much. Keep it going for my opening act. Where'd he go? I want to thank you all for keeping me single-handedly alive all through college with the foods that you make. I appreciate that. And ever since the scoop was invented, I haven't used a utensil in my home. And the only suggestion I would make, maybe Funyuns with mint. Do whatever you do, pull people in a room, have them eat it, see if they enjoy it or not, all right? People, I gotta tell you, there's a trash war going on in my house right now that's epic, right? Here's what happens. My wife takes the trash out from underneath the kitchen sink, bundles it up, and then sets it in front of the kitchen door. Instead of taking the 5 extra steps it would take to actually throw the trash away. But my wife thinks she's crossing some kind of county line, that her jurisdiction doesn't take her into the garage, right? And so she thinks it's some kind of crazy relay race where I should be a couple steps ahead of her, just going reach and taking it. Then I walk into the kitchen, see the door blocked, and go, oh, better go out this way. That seems like a fire hazard to me. You're gonna have OSHA all over you if you don't have a proper way for the exit. Tell you this too, I'm laying in bed with my wife recently, right? And I'm facing her. That's my foreplay now. HR, I stopped the joke there. And so I could kind of feel my wife wants to have a conversation with me, you know, because she did this thing. She was looking up at the ceiling, and she did this thing where she goes, I said, oh man, I just heard the breath. Nothing good is about to happen after that exhale, right? So I immediately turn over and pretend that I'm asleep, right? I slow my breathing down, right? And then I just do a little twitch, just a little one. Not a crazy twitch, fellas. Don't oversell it. Just do a little twitch. My wife goes, John, I know you're not sleeping. We need to talk. I'm like, okay. What do we need to talk about? She goes, we need to talk about our relationship. What? But we're married. I thought I did the thing to make these conversations stop. I didn't realize there were going to be rollover minutes from our single days. I thought when I got married, I got a completely new contract. I mean, I know I lost my roaming feature. Well, you can still roam, but it's a very expensive roaming charge if you get caught. Probably my 401k and my home, and I have to pay for her attorney. I've checked. I'm afraid to have kids of my own because I'm 37, and I don't want to be an old dad. See, when I was kind of a jerk teenager, my dad was probably in his early 30s or whatever the math was, but he still looked physically big enough to shove you through the fake wood paneling you had in your basement, right? You guys have that same basement as me, that awesome-looking fake wood paneling with the poles that were carpeted? Always a nice touch. And that bad drop ceiling, right? So I want to be physically big enough so my kids are at least afraid of me, but it's not going to happen. I mean, I'm going to be 80 years old and have my 16-year-old kid go, hey, I'm taking the car. And I'm like, no, you're not. Then he's just going to kink up my air hose. You know, he's going to pop the battery out of my little get-along thing. I don't want the only difference between me and my teenage son is he keeps his drugs up in the sock drawer. Mine's in that little Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday thing. You guys ever heard a thing if you have a potato chip and it touches itself, if you put it in your mouth and close your mouth and don't crack it, you can make a wish? You guys, you've never heard of that? Really? You should, what? You should make a bag of that stuff. Have all the things, or that really cool, it looks like it's a bubble, like the chip was about to blow up, and it's really thin, and if you pop it, it cracks, and it's like a crater. Make some of those, too. Or make some potatoes with the stem on it, because people like to freak out. Oh, look it, I got a stem, look it. Yeah, you found the Holy Grail, dude. That's pretty cool. Just sell that on eBay. That doesn't come along very often. You guys ever do this? You ever turn your car on after it's been on? Yeah. Forget you're already kind of in the mix already? That's a pleasant noise, too, isn't it? Whole world wants to stare at the dumbass who already turned the car on. Don't they? Wah! Ha ha ha. Yeah. I didn't know it was on. Ha ha. Ha ha. No, the windshield wipers and the radio didn't give me a clue. No. Move along, lady. It's over. Worse than that, you guys ever be in your car and the car next to you starts to move and you're like, oh, holy crap. I think my water broke. Holy man. I thought it was going in reverse. I wasn't. You're not married, dude? No. No, are you thinking about it? Are you thinking about getting married? How long you been dating your lovely significant other? April. Oh, it's so new. You wouldn't even think about it. Let me just tell you some stuff. I mean, ladies, immediately, don't try emailing my wife telling her I'm talking about her right now. I love the fact that I'm married, but there's some things about marriage. If somebody would have sat me down and told me, would have thought a little bit differently about it. Did you know this, my friend? When you get married, your wife moves in with you. Nobody brings that up, dude. Nobody brings that up. And when she moves in with you, she'll make you get rid of everything you had prior to her, right? Things you told yourself, I will never lose. This will be with me forever. The first thing my wife made me get rid of was my roommate. I miss Rob. Me and Rob had the greatest relationship in the entire world. Never once did Rob ever jump up onto the couch and stick his toes under my butt because they were cold. All of us here had to drive in the winter, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I was the worst snow taker-offy guy on my car ever, right? I don't know if that's a word. Like, ever see those people take out a broom and they wipe off every piece of snow on their car before they go? I wasn't that guy, man. I'd get in the car and slam the door, and what happened. That's it. I just needed a small continental shift to happen on the front, and I was golden, right? And you never take the snow off the top of your car, ever. You leave that on, especially if it gets a little bit icy rain to kind of hold it down. Oh, that's perfect. Because that way, when you hit the freeway, that big chunk flies off, right? And then the car behind you is like, whoa! And you're like, kick ass, I have a James Bond car. All of us experience this, though, right? When you see all the cars in front of you stopped and you're driving in the middle of the winter and you hit your brake and you're like, son of a... I do not have time for this today. Then you start texting people, yeah, Bob, I'm going to be a little bit late coming in. No, I'm spinning out. I haven't crashed yet. I'll send a picture. I'll send it as attached. I'll show you when my airbag goes off. That'll be cool. We always got hurt growing up, mostly in the stuff my dad put together for us to play on, right? I don't know what kind of suck-ass swing set you guys had growing up, but our swing set sucked, right? Because every time you swung on it, one pole would come right out of the grass. Because your dad would do such a crap job cementing it in. You'd actually swing on it, then see the swing set above you. You just see all your brothers and sisters' names in cursive above your face. Right? Bees and wasps would always come out of that top tube. Because your dad forgot to put those two white caps on both ends. You guys know anybody with golf Tourette's that just feels the need to swing a club no matter what you're trying to tell him? It's like, hey, I have some important info. But the guy had to shut up because, he didn't want his buddy to shank it, You don't know how far back he is on his make-believe leaderboard. You almost want to tap him and go, realize that there's no hole, right? And so the guy just kind of, and why is golf the only sport you're allowed to pretend to play in front of people? And you're never a nut job. You could go into whatever mystery office you work in, right? And see somebody kind of doing that, and you're not like, whoa, stay away from the crazy guy. But any other sport, you'd be a total nut job if I busted it out in conversation. If I'm just talking to you, going, oh, so you guys have been, dating since April? Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, yeah, well, hope it works out. You guys are a good-looking couple, you know what I mean? And you guys hope that flower thing works out. You know what I mean? The flower thing seems like a pretty big deal around the house. And